What's up, y'all, and welcome back to another Abbott Elementary recap with your girl, me, RGB. Welcome back to Authentically RGB TV. Let's get into the video. All right, y'all. So we open up with Janine in the office, and she's looking through a big old box full of things in the lost and found, looking for a scarf because she said that she was cold. And Greg was asking her what she was looking for, trying to help, trying to be of assistance or whatever. Ava's just walking through being Ava, and she's describing what she's looking for. She's looking for some type of scarf or like wrap or whatever. And they look at Ava, and she's kind of like, why would I need anything from you? Like your fashion is not my fashion. And then they look up, and lo and behold, Mr. Johnson, the janitor, he has Janine's scarf around his neck while he's cleaning, and she's like, bruh, basically, and he's just like, what? Like, it's a time limit to come and get your stuff, and it's free game. And it's so funny because literally right now in the school that I work at, we are filling up, well, not we, I should say that. They are filling up the lockers again because we just got them painted with tons, and I'm talking about tons of jackets, shoes, socks, shirts, pants, whatever you can name that's been in a lost and found. They are there just to have it for a student that may be in need. And even before the school year ended last year, we had a big box by the office. I'm talking about a wooden um, cart that somebody must have built. And the art, the kids, they painted it or whatever. I'm talking about a stacked high with like a plethora of coats and jackets, and it was insane. So working in elementary school, trust and believe that lost and found is going to be cray cray. Period. So after the office scene, the teachers, of course, are in the lounge. They're all like kind of seeming kind of like there's a lot of tension in the air. There's a lot of like a lot of humdrum in the air, and even Ava mentioned how like hostile it was in there, but it was because they were all complaining about how overwhelmed they were in trying to catch up with the things, as far as like probably putting things in the computer, paperwork, making sure they turn in plans, having time to plan. And they basically were using that time to get all those things in order. And then they also was discussing certain things that they do to get all caught up. So while they're discussing all this, Ava comes in with an announcement, and they were gonna have this assembly, this program for all the students. And the teacher's like, "Woo, yes, I could just drop my kids off and go to my classroom and do what I gotta do and get everything done. Like, this is the perfect time. Thank you, thank you, thank you." And once Jacob receives one of the flyers that Ava had, he realized like this is a group that I used to be a part of. They are super dope. It's an improv group. I love them. Like, I cannot wait for you all to see them. Please, please, please do not just drop your kids off. Like, this is a treat. Like, you don't want to miss it. And so there's like, okay. So they have a schedule of the times in which each grade has to go to the assembly or go to the program. And of course, Janine and Greg, they are convinced by Jacob to show up, and they are sitting there in the assembly and just like, what are we watching? And again, I just said it's an improv group. They take suggestions from the crowd and they perform it, and it's supposed to be this like super like funny thing. And Jacob's like loving it, and he's just cracking up laughing. The kids are participating and laughing as well, but Janine and Greg are just sitting there like, what is this? Ava, she's having the time of her life because she's like, this is cornball country here, but nevertheless, they enjoy it, they get through it, and we move on from there. So, meanwhile, while everybody is in the assembly, we see Melissa, and she's moving through the hallway, and she has her two classes, which is second grade and third grade. As we all know, our classes have been combined, and she's like looking disheveled, she's looking overwhelmed, but she's trying to keep it together, trying to keep a safe face, and just do what she can. And as she's going through the hallway, Ava lets her know, like, hey, the offer still stands for you to get an assistant, but in comes Barbara, and she's like, yo, she's a veteran teacher, like, she's got this, she don't need it. And Melissa overhears her, and she's like, you know what, yeah, I got this, I'm good. Meanwhile, what we see is that she is not good at all. She's struggling, and I'm guessing it's pride, I'm guessing it's her just feeling like everything's gonna work out when it works out, but she is clearly not functioning properly, and she's overwhelmed. And even after we see her in the hallway, we also see the other teachers coming from the assembly, and they're all like talking about how corny it was, how silly it was, and they really didn't like it, and but they also can see why Jacob was a part of it. And they're all like basically making fun of the whole entire thing. And then once Jacob comes and he's like, hey, did y'all like it? They're like, oh yeah, it was great, da 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 da. And Barbara was like, you know, I can't wait to go in my scheduled time to go and see it. And everybody's just like, huh, like, it is what it is with this improv group. And Jacob makes an announcement that they want him to perform with them in the afternoon show. And from then on, Janine is like, oh no, like, it's not gonna work, like, we got to figure out a way to get him off the stage so that he will not embarrass himself. So what does Janine decide to do? She decides to take Jacob off to the side and let him know, like, basically, you are you've been in this group before. This is like a new generation of this improv group. Like, you don't want to like upstage them. You don't want to make them like look silly up there while you're a seasoned professional. And I don't think you should do it. And he's like, you know what, you're right, I shouldn't do it. Like, I don't want to take away their shine, basically. And so she feels like everything's everything, and she convinced him not to do it. Because, like I said, she doesn't want her friend to be embarrassed. She doesn't want people to make fun of him. In her own Janine way, she's looking out for him. So as we go throughout the episode, we see that Janine lets Greg know that she convinced him not to do it, and they have this banter back and forth about how quirky and how silly and different Jacob is. Not in a bad way, but they're just like, you know, basically Janine felt, like I said before, that she was looking out for him because she don't want him to be embarrassed, because people seem to feel like he's corny. And Ava overhears this, and she gets upset, and she's like, you always ruining stuff. Like, she wanted to go live. She wanted to, like, basically put him on Front Street and be like, look at this man, look at him up here making a fool of himself. And so as we go throughout the episode, they go back to Melissa's room, and boy oh boy, were we in for a treat. We see Barb walk in, and basically she understands that it's worse than what she thought, and that Melissa really does need help. She's got second grade on one end, she's got third grade on the other end. She's trying to keep the two separated. She's trying to teach one grade and then have the other grade do something, and then have that grade. I mean, it was just a mess. And then the kids was going back and forth. They were just running amok in the classroom. There was one child who was sniffing the whiteout. It was just a lot going on. And Barbara literally kind of like stuck her foot in her mouth, for lack of better words, because she realized like she's really struggling. And I kind of encourage her to just go with it, just do it, because she's a veteran teacher, because she's been here long enough, like she's got this. But lo and behold, like, homegirl was struggling, and she felt a type of way about it. And so as the episode progressed, we see that Barbara goes back in the room, and she's holding like a Viking looking thing, and I guess it's like a mascot, or it was something that was in the hallway. And because throughout the episode Melissa was just overwhelmed, and she was aggressive, and she was just like coming out the classroom needing to take a couple of breaks, and just too much going on. And she was like, this is not you, like, this is not anything that you need to be doing right now. So what I want you to know is that I apologize for making you feel like you have to be strong, to make you feel like you have to take on all of this alone, and we all need help no matter what. And so she convinced her basically to take the help of the school board because, as we all know, we don't get a lot of it. And she was like, they're trying to help you, so whatever they're trying to do for you, take it and run with it. And so she basically convinced her to request the assistant that Ava said that they had for her. And she was like, I know what you need. You need a good laugh. So come with me. Now, in the midst of this whole conversation with Barb and Melissa, um, Jacob was in the cafeteria talking to the people of the improv group and just broke the news to them like, hey, I don't think I should do it. And they was like, why not? Like, you're cute, cool, you're this, you're that. They just amped him up. They just bigged him up so much to where he felt like, oh, you know what? I think I am going to do it. And he decided again to change his mind. And he decides that he's going to do it. And then Janine finds out and she's like, hey, like I thought you said you wasn't gonna do it, and convince him again to basically again flat out telling him like, hey, I'm telling you right now, you don't want to do it. Like you already they call you Mr. C, which stands for Mr. Corny. Like you're corny. Period. This whole improv group is corny. You don't want to embarrass yourself. Like you want to be looked at as cool. You don't want to go down in your teacher legacy as this cornball teacher. And she starts to like basically name all of these white teachers in movies who are in predominantly black schools who are considered quote unquote corny, I guess. I didn't really get that, but she basically was just like, I know that you said you were gonna do it, but I really don't think you should. And he basically felt the way about it. And I kind of feel bad about Jacob because I was just like, well, dang, just let the man be him. Just let the man be him, Janine. Like, you always trying to come in and save the day, but just allow him to be him. If it's something that he likes to do, if it's something that anybody likes to do, like, allow them to be themselves. Like, they don't have to be a certain way or look a certain way or act a certain way. Like, being yourself, being authentic is the only way to be. And I could tell, like, with him talking to her in the hallway, like I said, he felt the type of way. And again, he just decided not to do it. But in her Ava way, Ava makes the announcement that he's going to perform with them anyway. And everybody was like, what? We thought you weren't going to do it. And then we go to the assembly and Melissa's there, Barb is there, all the teachers are there. So they were all ready to see Jacob go up there and embarrass himself basically and be the laugh that Melissa needed, as Barbara said. But he sat in the audience with the students. And while he was sitting in the audience with the students, one of his students were like, Mr. C, it would have been dope to see you up there, basically. And Janine, of course, overheard it. And she felt the type of way because she was like, I guess she realized, like, hey, I really did kind of like basically stop him from being himself. Like, and they were calling out for suggestions in the crowd, and she suggested that he go up there, and he killed it. Everybody enjoyed it. Yes, people laughed, but the kids enjoyed it and loved it. And like he said, I am me. Yes, I'm corny. That is a part of me. That's who I am. But I know deep down inside who I really am. So it doesn't matter basically what anybody thinks, what anybody calls me. I'm confident in me. I know who I am. I'm Mr. C. I'm corny. I'm Jacob. I'm corny. And you're just going to have to deal with it. So it's later on in the day, and we see Ava and Melissa in the office discussing the request for the assistant. And little did they know that the assistant would be there the same exact day. And boy, oh boy, were we in for a treat because this assistant is going to be a hoot. Her name is Ashley, and she's young, and she's spunky, and she's funny, and she's just big personality. She's all over the place, and which is totally opposite the personality that Melissa Schminty has. And she was just kind of like looking at the camera like, oh God, like what have I gotten myself into? But shout out to them for including the aides, including the assistants in this episode, because that again is my job title. I'm an instructional assistant in an elementary school here in Kentucky, and I love my job. Yes, I plan to get certified and become a teacher one day soon. But we hold a vital part of the classroom. We are a vital part of the classroom. We are teachers as well. We do a lot. And I am very, very glad that they are highlighting this, because a lot of times, even when I was working in the hospital, I was an assistant, I was a nursing assistant. And a lot of times, we, like they say all the time, we are the backbone and we help the teachers up. We know the students in and out. Just like in the hospital, I knew my patients in and out. And I am very, very excited to see Ashley's character. And I hope that she's in, like a bunch of episodes now, because she's gonna add another layer to the staff, and she's hilarious already. Really, really like her. And at the end of the episode, we see that the improv group is still walking around the school, dancing, doing the most. And Ava's walking in the hallway telling them to go home. And we saw that Greg and Janine met up in the hallway and they had a little discussion. They always seem to have some type of like little, not too flirty, but flirty conversation. And they always just seem to like find each other at the end of the day. So I am very excited that they are both single and they are talking, and they're just so cute. And I can't wait to see how all of that goes and for them two and that storyline. So thanks again for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this quick little recap of Abbott Elementary Season 2, Episode 3. See y'all later. Peace.